Okay, part 3 of World Subregions Battle Royale. So, last episode we ended with a war between West and North Africa, which West Africa won and severely humiliated North Africa. However, last episode we had North America mobilizing for the entire episode. And now they're ready to fight. They are the most powerful, as they have had a whole video to basically mobilize and economically recover, which they did. And now they're ready. They're very powerful. And they kind of hate Western Europe because they just fought a war with them in the first video. And they took Greenland, and they don't like that. You know what else hates Western Europe? South Asia. Why? Because South Asia was promised Iran and Iraq. And Western Europe took advantage and took it from them. Yeah, so now we have North America and South Asia both hating Western Europe. So what happens? Well, they both declare war on Western Europe. Now Western Europe needs help here. They're powerful, probably the second most powerful or third. But they really need help from an ally. So Western Europe calls an ally. Now they don't really have many allies. They only had temporary allies. However, a country which really would like, a country which wants more land, that could use the help of Western Europe to gain more land, is East Asia. Yeah, this severely tips the balance of power, as East Asia is very powerful, and they have a huge border with South Asia. So, East Asia and Western Europe have now declared war on North America and South Asia. So, this is big. Africa chooses to sit this one out, and these are the four most powerful. All the African powers are pretty weak compared to these. However, they might join in at the end in hopes of grabbing some land, especially North Africa. So, to start off this war, North America is easily the most powerful, and they quickly realize they have to help South Asia. Because if South Asia falls, they're basically fighting a 2-on-1 against second and third most powerful. So they quickly send a ton of their troops to South Asia, and a huge front line is established. A huge front line is established on Australia, Indonesia, Southeast Asia, and even up into Central Asia and even Iran. Yeah. They're kind of surrounded. That's one thing. The next is that Western Europe and East Asia, obviously, they can't really agree on how to split up, They can't really agree on how to split up South Asia, so they're just gonna go with whoever conquers it gets it. So you start North America using their tiny army in the north. They're not really tiny, just using their army in the north takes back Greenland and Iceland. They also make a landing on Svalbard. So now the Navy has gotten into the North Pole. They now control the North Pole. This is big, but not really that important. Western Europe is able to push into Iran. They take the whole country. And East Asia takes Afghanistan. So, there you go. Nope, wrong color. East Asia takes... what color did I make East Asia? Is this it? Nope, that's North Africa. East Asia... Trust me, I know what I'm doing. Is this it? No, oh my god. You know what, screw this. East Asia takes Afghanistan, and it's good for East Asia. They now they now are able to, whatever. East Asia takes Afghanistan. Yeah, cool. We'll just pretend that's part of East Asia. Why can't I find the colors? This is finally. Good. Sorry. So now we have North America making another landing, this time in Ireland, once again. And now Ireland has fallen under blue team control. However, we kind of have a big thing happening, and that is in Australia, South Asia. North American forces realize that they want to take back the island, so they do. This is big, as if they, that gets rid of a land border. However, and Java is also severely defended. So a landing is also made in New Zealand, which does also fall to South Asia. And naval superiority is established in these Pacific islands, which all eventually just surrender due to the fact that they are surrounded. So that's a big success for North America. However, Western Europe pushes into Balakistan, which is a rebellious region, so it's pretty easy to take over. But now the rest of South Asia is a very hard region to take over. So many forces are now being set up along the border, and takes a while, but the first region to go is Pakistan, which does. Western Europe takes over in the south, while the East Asian forces take over in the, no, why am I forgetting which color East Asia is? Well, East Asian forces take over in the north. Yeah, Pakistan is partitioned, and as big as that's South Asia's second most powerful country. But now India is being heavily defended. And the Great Britain was just taken over. Yeah, so this is big for Western Europe, as it's probably the second most powerful country. Yeah, I don't know, behind Russia maybe. So a lot of forces from this area have now been sent over to defend Europe, as an invasion of France or somewhere like there isn't that unlikely. Meanwhile, forces from South Asia managed to take out the eastern part of the Indonesian archipelago, as East Asia is unorganized, as they have many of their troops in Southeast Asia looking to invade Thailand and Myanmar, which does actually go successfully. The two countries do fall, cutting off India from the rest of South Asia and Bangladesh. However, with many Western European forces having escaped, having left this area, they take advantage. The North America takes advantage. They make a landing in northern France because they want to establish a foothold before the troops arrive. They land in France. Country falls as there's not many troops, and so does Iberia. So now with Iberia taken over, they cross the Alps once again before reinforcements can arrive, and they take over Italy. And finally, Germany also falls. So Western Europe, and so Switzerland and Denmark. So basically, Western Europe has been captured by North America. This is big, as there's a ton of people and a ton of economic things. And now Western Europe severely loses its economic advantage. In fact, it completely loses it, as North America is far wealthier now. However, while this is happening, India does, in fact, a bunch of forces still are staying out here, in this area. Nope. A bunch of forces are still in India. So Western Europe pushes down the coast, and they take much of the coast and the south. However, East Asian forces capture the north and much of India's population. And well as Bangladesh. So now South Asia has basically shifted places. India has just fallen. Oh, and by the way, India's fallen, and now Western Europe has basically put all their troops in Europe, while East Asia has put all their troops in Oceania. So a bunch of Indian forces were able to escape, leaving a ton of them still in Indonesia. So, however, it's not nearly enough to defend. So Sumatra and Malaysia both fall, following a harsh campaign, island hopping. However, eventually Indonesia does surrender and fall to East Asia is big, and that's most of the people. It is also very deadly, and East Asia is almost out of resources. However, Western Europe still has a ton of stuff. They managed to take out Papua New Guinea, Solomon Islands, Vanuatu. A landing is made in New Zealand, which goes successfully, followed by Tasmania. A landing is then made in the north of Australia, and eventually the entire island falls after a push along the coast is made. They surround Perth, the city falls, causing all of Western Australia to fall. From there, they push up north, they capture, I believe, Gold Coast. In the south, they capture Sydney, and Cambria does fall. And there goes South Asia. So, yeah, it was big, as now Western Europe and East Asia are fighting solo against North America. So Western European forces are mainly focused in Europe, while so are North American forces, and now we have a huge battle taking place in Central Europe. So, this is going to decide the fate of the war, whoever wins this battle. So, we have forces from Western Europe leading the initial push. They take Prague and push into Austria to take Vienna. They also take Slovenia. And forces meet at Bratislava and Budapest. They create one defensive line, and the stage is set for a huge battle of Bratislava, Budapest. Let's pretend Bratislava's I need to zoom in on this. So here's Bratislava, here's Budapest. By the way, just ignore the okay, how do I do this? Bratislava, Budapest, Western Europe is going to be in red. Okay. So here's what we have. Bratislava, Budapest, both cities are currently under control of Western Europe. So, however, Eastern Europe is looking to take control of them. If they are able to take control of these two nations, then the stage will be set for them to push into the rest of Europe. So, and if they can't, then Western Europe will be able to push back into, Western Europe. So, to start, forces from North America instead of push straight into Bratislava and Budapest, they look to go around. They try going around. This area is hugely they go around from both sides, and a spearhead is made, hopefully to surround the two countries. Really, they're not really looking for the cities. They're kind of just looking to surround the countries. So this push is going I guess it's going from Czechia into Slovakia, and in Hungary it's going from out of Slovenia. However, a spearhead is made as well to cut the two capitals off from each other, which goes successfully. And now with Bratislava and Budapest both surrounded, basically both of them fall. This is huge as now, it's not good. So with many of the forces being surrounded in Bratislava / Budapest, the two nations fall, and a ton of Western European forces, having been surrounded, are now, dead. So from there, the stage is set. They quickly invade Poland, take it over. Northern Europe falls after a naval invasion from both the north from Svalbard and the south from Denmark, land in Scandinavia. From there, they are quickly able to take over the Baltic states as well as Finland. The Balkans also fall to Western Europe, as well as far as Istanbul, and so does Belarus and Ukraine. So now all of Europe has basically fallen under control from the North America. So now East Asia is realizing what's happening. They're able to mobilize, and they send troops to defend Russia. Western Europe knows not to cross into Anatolia, as that would be bad, and that's a naval invasion, which, is a bit hard, as the Black Sea is, very contested, and so is the Mediterranean, especially the Eastern Mediterranean, so they don't want to risk a naval invasion. So, in the move that surprised no one, they invade into Russia, and forces quickly take St. Petersburg, and Eastern Russia falls very easily. Western Russia. However, at Moscow, we have a second major battle of this war, and this one is involving not only Western European forces, or what's left of them, but it's also involving the critical East Asian forces. So this was huge for this battle. So now we have Western Europe. By the way, Western Europe has been cut off from south, from the Muslim areas, I guess we'll say. However, they still have East Asia, so it's not that bad. So Moscow is completely controlled by forces from the east, from Western Europe. However, North American forces are starting to push into the city. They quickly, once again, look to surround the city. They push into it. They reach the suburbs, and the city is very well. They reach the suburb, and a spearhead is made once again to surround the city. They quickly push into it. Once again, this is all controlled. This whole area is controlled by the pink team. 2 spearheads are made, hoping that they could meet up. Now, the problem with spearheads are that it's easy to surround the troops, and that's exactly what happens. A ton of troops make a counter spearhead towards Moscow, and all these troops are now surrounded. However, troops in this area, so now huge campaigns are being made to try to save them. However, it's no use, as North America basically loses a good portion of its forces. The forces then from this area go this way. They retreat, as they don't want to get surrounded as well. And now with half the forces, the pink team is able to they're able to push back. And with that, the Battle of Moscow is a Western Europe victory. And with that, the forces are forced to go on the retreat out of Russia. However, now they sue for peace. This time we have the North America suing for peace, as they just lost a ton of their forces. And basically the peace treaty states that it will stay like this. So, basically Western Europe is now really kicked out of Western Europe, and now they're mainly like East Asia. So now North America is very powerful. They control North America and Europe. And East Asia is also very powerful. Western Europe's severely weakened, and North America takes advantage of this, and with the help of North Africa, they form a permanent alliance this time in hopes of taking out Western Europe, and East Asia decides to turn on Western Europe in hopes of gaining land. So now we have everyone versus Western Europe. You know what? I'm actually gonna end this video here. The next video will have this major war.